So if you're here, folks, for the main event, you're watching live. Strait Brawlers is going to take on New York Shock Exchange. You can see the Shock Exchange in black and yellow warming up now. We've got about 12 and a half minutes to Derby, so stay tuned. Grab yourself a cup of tea, whatever you want to do. You got 12 minutes to make yourself comfortable for some big hitting, hard action roller derby coming at you from Menai Indoor Sports Centre this afternoon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is the Big Kahuna. I will be your stream commentator tonight for the first historic game here in Australia of Bass Strait Brawlers taking on the New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange, of course, on their Down Under tour. Bass Strait Brawlers on their New South Wales tour, coming up from Tasmania. I will be joined very shortly by my fellow commentator today, Mel O'Drama. How you doing this evening, Mel?
Very good, thank you, Big Kahuna.
I'm excited to watch this roller derby action. We don't get men's games out here all that often. It has been the last 18 months with a lot of men's teams picking it up. Of course, the Nationals being played in November in Brisbane, but this is the first time we've had an international team from the States. We did have a New Zealand team in the Nationals competition, but New York Stock Exchange, pioneer of men's roller derby, former #1 in the world, currently ranked 3 in the world. Of course, the subject of the documentary, This Is How We Roll, and they are here to take on all of Australia, basically. They already took on the Capital Carnage from Canberra at the Bont Invitational. On Tuesday evening, they played Brisbane City Rollers from, of course, Brisbane, the Scartel. Tonight, they're taking on Tasmanians, Bass Strait Brawlers, and on tomorrow night, stay tuned to the Sydney City Smash feed on YouTube channel, to see the Sydney City Smash taking on the Stock Exchange. I'm going to quickly read the Bass Strait Brawlers you're going to be seeing here tonight. 1701, Captain Smirk is their captain, funnily enough. M0 is Grease Monkey. A540, Hangman. Number 17, Huge Stackman. Number 42, Thor. Number 34, Dirty 5. Number 11, Sausage Rolls. Number M3, Nihiko. Number 0, Skate Pilgrim. He's, of course, a guest from the Vanguard in Victoria. 505 is Son of Skaten, another guest from the Vanguard. And we have the Dallas Slammer, number 12.
Yes, indeed. And skating for the New York Stock Exchange, we have Captain Abe Drinkin, Harm's Way, Glittosaurus Rex, Jimmy Rage, Kai Sexual, Malcolm Sex, Automatic, Paul Funyon, Sammy Dangerfield, Skunk, T-Stop Tornado, and Toxic Hazmat. And hanging out with the boys, we have Rinkworm. We would like to say a special shout out to Jonathan R. We're sorry you're not here. You missed out on the sausage sizzle.
Benching the Brawlers tonight, Convict City roller jammer is Brannicky. She's up there with Crash as well.
Yes, indeed, and the New York Stock Exchange are going to bench themselves.
First up on the line, wearing some very bright socks and some fancy pants, number 0, Sammy Dangerfield. He's on the Skater HQ jammer line for the New York Stock Exchange. And in the green, Bass Strait Brawlers from Tasmania, number 11, Sausage Rolls.
And they're off, both jammers trying to go the outside line. However, Sausage Rolls decides to go on the inside line instead. No luck there, though. He pulls a track cut.
Both jammers actually... forearm to Sammy Dangerfield, track cut to Sausage Rolls, both hit the box at the same time. Sausage Rolls with a couple of seconds on Sammy Dangerfield, both skaters back on the track at the same time. Here we go.
No real advantage for anyone there.
And no lead jammer, of course. This jam will go the full 2 minutes. Both jammers struggling hard against a strong defensive pack from both sides. Sausage Rolls at the back, Sammy Dangerfield at the front.
Sammy Dangerfield keeps getting forced out of bounds there, but he is forced to crawl back onto the track so that he doesn't draw another track cut.
Sausage Rolls, however, is out on his scoring pass. Of course, no lead jammer, as we said. Sammy Dangerfield hits to the outside once again. Son of Skaten, good last line of defense. Sausage Rolls getting through, 5-point pass. Bass Strait Brawlers on the board.
Good place to be, 5 up front. Sammy Dangerfield extremely frustrated trying to get past those blockers.
Grease Monkey doing a good job of drawing a cut on Sammy Dangerfield back in the box. 2 penalties in the first jam. Is that a sign of things to come from New York Stock Exchange? Because right now, the Bass Strait Brawlers shocking the world. Sausage Rolls racking up points.
Huge Stackman off to the penalty box.
Now, Sausage Rolls was, of course, a key member of the Team Australia, or the Wizards of Oz, sorry, that went to the World Cup in 2014. You're going to see a lot of the Shock Exchange here as well. Were part of Team USA for that same World Cup. So a lot of international experience from both sides here. Son of Skate and Skate Pilgrim and Sausage Rolls all part of the Wizards of Oz squad.
And that jam absolutely successful as the first jam for the Brawlers. 13 huge points, paying 0 to the Shock Exchange.
This team, the Bass Strait Brawlers, of course, in the men's nationals, the first one ever in November 2014. Bass Strait Brawlers taking our second place in a hell of a game against the Victorian Vanguard. Skate Pilgrim on the Skater HQ jamming line now for the Brawlers. Number 0 in the green was, of course, jamming for the Vanguard in that game.
An Automatic streaking out in front in those rugby shorts there. He is jamming for the Shock Exchange.
So lead jammer to the Shock Exchange. Skate Pilgrim still held at the back. Looking for a gap, not finding it at the moment, but finding the inside line eventually. He's out on his scoring pass now.
Virtually a lap between the jammers. New York Shock Exchange calling that jam off after scoring 5 points.
Yes, so Skate Pilgrim able to get out of that pack, but not before Automatic was able to catch up and get that 5th point.
Jimmy Rage now up for the Shock Exchange. He is up against Sausage Rolls again.
So Sarge with the jammer star for the Brawlers. You're going to see a lot of him tonight. Expect heavy rotation for Sausage Rolls.
And just for viewers at home who may not be aware, it is very, very tropical here in Menai.
That's a word.
There's the pleasant back aroma of fresh varnish mixing up into my nostril hairs, coupled with some humidity. I think some of the players might be finding things a little warm out here.
Let me put it this way, it's not fat man weather. Big Kahuna's not happy in this kind of weather.
I don't think it's skinny man weather either. However, Jimmy Rage out in front. He's lead jammer for the Shock Exchange. Takes a block from Sausage Rolls.
The Sausage Rolls dropping back to play 5th blocker. Give himself some time. Big apex jumper forced to the inside. He's recycled to the back. Sarge persistent with the inside line, hoping that if he does it enough, they'll just leave it open for him.
I suspect that's not going to happen though, Big Kahuna. Jimmy Rage, however, having frustrations of his own, being forced to the outside line and being recycled all the way back to the jammer line.
So some good defense from both teams here. Sausage Rolls not able to breach that Shock Exchange pack. Still on his initial. Showing left, juking right. He's out now. Jimmy Rage, however, on his scoring pass. Brawlers doing a hell of a job for the biggest man in roller derby. Maybe the biggest man I've ever seen. And that's coming from a guy with big in his name.
Four points added to the Shock Exchange score. Still trailing the Brawlers. I think if the Brawlers had the option, they should call the game off now.
So the Brawlers holding on to a 4-point lead after that 13 in the first jam. Last couple going Shock Exchange way. Number 17 stepping up to the Skater HQ jammer line for the Shock Exchange. That's Kai Sexual.
Kai Sexual pushes to the inside there. Forced out of bounds though.
One to beat for the Brawlers. They have lead jammer status.
And Captain Smirk doing a great job there, holding back Kai Sexual as long as he could, but he is through for his initial pass.
So Dirty 5 in the pack now. He's looking for points. He's got about a lap before Kai Sexual. He catches up, sees him out of the corner of his eye and calls it off. Kai Sexual going for the big apex jump, see if he can sneak a couple, but fourth whistle too quick.
Brawlers creep out in front some more. 16 big points, playing the Shock Exchange 9. It's a good opportunity to say thank you so much to all of our referees and officials and all of the people volunteering to operate the cameras and the technical equipment. This game, of course, operates under volunteers, so if you're interested in getting involved, that's a good place to start. Sammy Dangerfield mincing it up for the Shock Exchange. He is forced out of bounds. Recycled to the back of the pack by Thor. Grease Monkey jamming for the Brawlers.
So strong defense from both sides here. Jammer's having a lot of headaches early in this game. Grease Monkey called for a forearm. He's on his way to the box. So power jam here for Dangerfield. He's got lead jammer status.
And Big Kahuna, an unusual thing I saw there was that Grease Monkey actually cut across the middle of the track to get to the penalty box.
Saved himself some time going the long way round. He did sort of make his way off the track, I guess, to the inside, but not.
I think it was a line call there, Big Kahuna.
Yeah, it might have been called for insubordination there, but getting away with it for now.
Sammy Dangerfield trying to step his way on the outside, having no luck.
Son of Skaten and Thor extending that pack as long as it could go. That was a big 20-foot. Finally forced to let him go. Dangerfield picking up another 5 there. Grease Monkey is back on the track. Playing 5th blocker at the back, trying to prevent.
Glitosaurus Rex, the handsomest man on the track, acting as a very frustrating blocker on Grease Monkey.
Sammy Dangerfield, another 4 points for the Shock Exchange. They take the lead in this jam.
Grease Monkey hoping to catch a break off Thor.
Dangerfield slicing straight through, unopposed by the Brawlers. And Grease Monkey back to the penalty box. Power jam again for Sammy Dangerfield.
Not really a good idea to give Sammy Dangerfield a power jam. Predictably, the Shock Exchange streaked out in front there. 32 points, playing 16 for the Brawlers.
So a 23-point jam for the Shock Exchange in that one. Sammy Dangerfield putting the Brawlers to the sword and making them pay for their mistakes. So Grease Monkey will start this next one in the penalty box. Automatic. Doing some fancy footwork before this jam gets started.
He told me before the game he learned that stuff in rugby.
Did he really?
He did.
A rugby player from New York.
Yes.
Happens a lot.
There are 2 of them. Harm's Way and Automatic are both rugby players. Automatic even showed some interest in cricket. Why anyone would do that is beyond me.
He just wants to be Aussie.
Who wouldn't? Thanks very much to Skater HQ. They are our major sponsor today. They offer custom fitting services and they have stores in Brookvale, Manly and Moore Park. If you live outside of those areas, you can always visit them online. And they have sponsored the Jammer line today. Thank you also to Sydney Derby Skates. They're having a mega skate sale right now. So visit them online. You might be able to get some cheap stuff. Cheap stuff as in not costly as opposed to bad quality.
Highest quality stuff, sydneyderbyskates.com for all your skating needs. Big shout out to Derby Obsessed 284, providing t-shirts and sleeveless hoodies as prizes for our MVPs over the weekend. Their online store is derbyobsessed284.com. Other supporters over the course of the weekend, we've got Gorman Providor, Black Milk Clothing, Roller Derby Heaven, Extreme Skates Roller Derby, and Queens of the Sin Bin. They are, of course, New York Shock Exchange sponsor, helping them get down under. So it is an official review, obviously, in play at the moment. You can see our officials and our captains talking it over in the middle. Got some very fancy double screen work going on here.
Yeah, picture in picture. We could be watching other things as well.
Big thank you to Colonel Panic, Sydney City Smash, and FTP, the technical directors here this evening, bringing you the images you're seeing over your YouTube station right now. Sydney City Smash Brothers. Look up Sydney City Smash Brothers on YouTube or on Facebook. Give them a like, follow what they're doing, and you'll find links to all their future bouts and everything going on.
Official review is over. Doesn't appear to be any adjustment in the scores. I imagine all is okay back at the ranch.
So after 5 jams, New York Shock Exchange visiting Sydney here against the Bass Strait Brawlers, doubling them up. 32 plays 16. Shock Exchange in control in the black. Bass Strait Brawlers in the bright green.
Automatic has nearly worn out his wheels, waiting for this jam to start.
Grease Monkey still in the box from that last jam. So power jam to start this next one for the Shock Exchange.
Yes, indeed. Automatic, the only jammer on the Skater HQ jammer line.
Officials still talking it over.
Oh, they like to talk, don't they, those officials? And there will be another game of men's roller derby on tomorrow night. Same time, same place. If you're in the Menai area, you should come along. Tickets are available on the door.
There will be 2 games actually being streamed tomorrow from 5:30. You're going to see a cherry popping bout, which is from the boot camp. The people participating, Shock Exchange doing an educational boot camp over the weekend. Of course, people playing their first game 5:30 on this same YouTube channel. Automatic out in front, lead jammer status quickly obtained.
Yes, indeed, he did it sideways and then went front on until there was no pack called, and he is through again. 5 points for the Shock Exchange.
So Shock Exchange really turning it on in the last couple after the Brawlers got out to a great start. Another 5 points for Automatic.
Yes, indeed, and the pack has diminished. 3 Brawler players in the penalty box, 2 blockers, 1 jammer.
So we've actually gone past the 30-second mark. With 45 seconds since his jam, Grease Monkey still in the box. So must have received double penalties on that one because he looks like he's been serving a minute.
Grease Monkey standing in the penalty box there.
So I don't know what the second penalty was for. Maybe it was that insubordination for not leaving the track correctly.
It was more than a bit cheeky, really.
But he is back on the track now and hits that pack with some speed and aggression. Not getting through at the moment. Automatic is, however, he's through for another 5-point pass.
Getting some big hits from the boys up the back there. And just in case you're a bit confused, Abe Drinkin skates with the name Wyatt on the back of his shirt.
Sorry, that was a 4-point pass in that last one. My apologies. Marching orders letting us know it was only the 4. So full penalty box for the Brawlers.
And that jam being called off. Shock Exchange, 60 points against the Bass Strait Brawlers, 18 points.
So Dirty 5 making his way to the box as that jam came to a close. Thor was standing, however. So that means we got 3 in the box. Dirty 5 doesn't have to wait in queue, but it does mean that Son is skating all by himself.
He says, bring it. He's not scared. Bring it, he says.
Full pack to Shock Exchange. Son is skating for the Brawlers. Skate Pilgrim jamming for the men in green.
Jimmy Rage out in front, his lead jammer.
So Jimmy Rage did get hit to the inside by skating there, but able to get through. Of course, only 1 block and can only do so much. Skate Pilgrim now out of the pack. Taking his time to get around, just observing and getting the call off.
Thor using Son of Skaten as a battering ram there, and it paid off. That jam is called off. We've had 7 jams already. The Shock Exchange are sitting on 63 points with the Brawlers on 18. The Brawlers, of course, playing in the green. And the Shock Exchange in the black.
Son of Skaten went to the bench holding his toe stop or a wheel. He was holding something and had 1 foot in the air, so a bit of technical difficulty there. Skate Pilgrim jamming once again, going back to back, and it working for them. He's got lead jammer against the Shock Exchange.
Bisexual, though, managing to keep his footing there on the slippery bit.
Skate Pilgrim didn't. He went to the ground but had the presence of mind to call it off. You can see on the feed here that the floor is very shiny. That's because it is brand spanking new covering here. Menai Indoor Sports Centre only resurfacing over the Christmas holidays, and we've been told it hasn't even had enough time to cure correctly. So it is grippy and may see some stacks out there, not because of how slippery it is, but because of how grippy it is, and they may be not used to that with their wheels. So Sammy Dangerfield jamming for the shock exchange. He pushes at the front wall.
Sausage rolls. No, pardon me. Huge Stackman jamming for the Brawlers.
Huge Stackman held up at the back with some great D from the shock exchange. Sammy Dangerfield completing his first pass, now in the midst of his scoring. And there's 5 points on the board for Sammy Dangerfield.
Sammy Dangerfield sent off for a track cut. Sorry,
Huge
not Sammy
Stackman.
Dangerfield, the other guy.
Huge Stackman on his way to the box. Sammy Dangerfield keeps on skating. Picks up another 5 points, in fact, for the shock exchange in black. So after a hell of a start here from the Brawlers in the first jam, it's been all shock exchange since that first one. 73 plays 18. Sammy Dangerfield adding to it here. Another 5-point pass.
Grease Monkey doing a tremendous job there, blocking Sammy Dangerfield for as long as he did. Holding back for as long as he can means that the time in the penalty box gets run down. And of course, the Brawlers jammer returns to the track.
Huge Stackman, big apex jump to clear the pack. Is now on his scoring pass. And a huge hit from Dirty 5 on Sammy Dangerfield right in front of our vantage point here, and forcing Sammy to call that one off. And after a few big power jams going the New Yorkers' way, 85 plays 18. Shock exchange over the Brawlers. Timeout has been called by the Brawlers, wanting to break the momentum shock exchange being able to build up, maybe regather the forces, have a quick word with their benches. Brannicky, Crash, see what they can say to regather this team in green and see what they can do against the powerhouse that is the shock exchange from New York.
Son of Skating, of course, winning the prize here on the track for the shortest of all the shorty shorts. Showing off that curly hair that he sports on his legs.
Skate Pilgrim out of that timeout, eager to get going. He rolls up to the Skater HQ jammer line for the Brawlers. Up against Automatic for the shock exchange. Really is a privilege to see a team like the shock exchange here in Australia really coming out, obviously with great cost. They're doing whatever they can as far as fundraising goes, and all the raffles, etc., that it will be held here live over the weekend. You obviously can't do that over YouTube. Will be going towards the shock exchange travel expenses. Skate Pilgrim jamming for the Brawlers. Automatic finding an inside line, and a big hit to the inside by Skaten. Both jammers recycled to the back. Automatic, one to beat. 1 foot turnaround. He's got lead jammer.
He did very well to get away from Son of Skaten. That was a mighty big hit. Landed with quite a force here. You could hear the thud go through the floor. Automatic forced out of bounds again by Son of Skaten. However, Son of Skaten draws a penalty for that block. 5 more points for Automatic and New York Shock Exchange.
Skate Pilgrim still held up in this pack. New York Shock Exchange just absolutely showing some stellar defense, and another 5-point pass for Automatic. 5-point pass, sorry. Skate Pilgrim now out of the pack. Hands on hips ever so casually, but Automatic in the midst of the pack picking up points. There's no relaxing from that fella. He keeps on skating and skating fast no matter what. Shock Exchange tees the 100-point barrier. 99 plays 18 now. Jimmy Rage pulling on the Jammer Star once again for the Shock Exchange. Dirty 5 stepping up to the Skater HQ Jammer line for the Brawlers. Shock Exchange concentrating all 4 blockers to shove out Dirty 5 and dragging him back past turn number 4. Jimmy Rage is out at the front. He's lead jammer for the Shock Exchange once again. 35 now out. 35 putting on the pace around the track. You can see a skating style from 35 and Sausage Rolls, both former ice hockey players down in Tasmania, applying their skills to roller derby.
And another timeout called. Looks like an official review by the Brawlers.
So another official review is in play at the moment. 99 to the Shock Exchange, 18 to the Brawlers. Our ref crew in the middle, making sure everything goes as it should be. Axiom Addict, Pombat, Game Over, Hans Offerback, Boom Tish, Marching Orders, and all the way from New York City, traveling with the Shock Exchange, we've got Whistle B Loki.
And the referees are reviewing the Brawlers' claim that one of the Shock Exchange players was blocking to the head. So the referees will discuss that and see if they can recreate what they saw and make a decision on whether or not that block was legal.
Malcolm Sachs in the middle there, given he's maybe not doing so well in the heat here at Menai. Of course, New York Shock Exchange traveling. They were in the midst of their winter, and we all know how cold it can get in New York this time of year. Then they come here for an absolute culture shock. The humidity that smacks you in the face here in the Menai Indoor Sports Centre.
I believe it's snowing in New York today, you know. Okay, and we have a result. So the referees have decided that the initial contact was with the shoulder and the secondary impact was of no impact. So there is no penalty called. Scores remain as they are. Shock Exchange 99 playing the Brawlers 18. Bisexual on the jammer line, the Skater HQ jammer line for the New York Shock Exchange.
Sausage Rolls jamming for the Brawlers. Both jammers out fast at the front but recycled to the back. Shock Exchange not letting Sarge get the best of them so far.
Brawlers doing a good job holding back as long as they can. However, Shock Exchange is out as lead jammer.
Now, as I said earlier in the broadcast, this is the third game played by the Shock Exchange in their short trip here. They did play at the Bont Invitational last weekend up against Capital Carnage. That score was 500 plus to about 50. So Brawlers looking to best their brothers from Canberra here tonight. No doubt it is a hell of a learning experience for all teams that take on the Shock Exchange. But right now, Shock Exchange giving the Brawlers an education in jamming. 109 plays 18. Kai Sexual adding 5 more with a power jam.
Yes, indeed. Kai Sexual making it look easy, just stepping past those blockers there. Getting lots of help from very competent blocking pack. Abe Drinking putting a hit on Sarge Rolls.
Sausage Rolls, big hit, sent to the middle. Jukes around Malcolm Sex, and then finally one to beat. Not enough though. Shock Exchange read Waterfall well to keep him in bay. And meanwhile, points keep on racking up. Kai Sexual, another 5 points.
However, Sausage Roll sent off for a track cut.
So 2 penalties in that one jam, 2 Sausage Rolls. Shock Exchange really punishing them when they make the mistakes too. Another 4 points. So another 5 points for Kai Sexual as that jam came to a close.
Yes, indeed, referee initially not indicating 1 point for the player in the penalty box. However, that has been fixed up. We do want to do a big shout out to Jonathan R. watching at home. We're sorry you couldn't make it. Jonathan R., one of the players from New York Shock Exchange. Hello, we hope you're well. Sammy Dangerfield bringing his Dazzly pads to the Brawlers, blockers. Using brute force to get through there.
And of course, Sammy Dangerfield claiming lead jammer status once again for the Shock Exchange.
He's also the only jammer on the track. Sausage Roll stands in the penalty box. That means he's only got 10 seconds left to serve.
Sarge back on the track now. Gets a big assist from Brawler's blocker. But Dangerfield, Sammy, another 5 points for the Shock Exchange. So the Brawlers haven't scored a point in about 15 minutes now, I'd say. Shock Exchange turning up the heat on defense.
Sammy Dangerfield calling that jam off.
When we say the Brawlers, obviously New York Shock Exchange far more experienced than the Brawlers, but you're looking in Skate Pilgrim here and Sausage Rolls, world-class jammers for the Brawlers, and Shock Exchange just absolutely shutting them down. Now, when I said world-class jammer, one of them stepping up to the Skate HQ line now, that's Skate Pilgrim, number 0 for the Brawlers. And just as I said it, lead jammer for the Brawlers, the first in a while. Skate Pilgrim out in front. Automatic with the star for the Shock Exchange.
Copping a big hit there from Son of Skating.
Out of play, of course, so Skate Pilgrim keeps on, Automatic keeps on skating. Skate Pilgrim hit down at the front. But called for a low block, trying to call it off from the ground, but picked up a low block call. So power jam to the Shock Exchange once again.
Lots of confusion there going on. Has he been set off? Yes, he has.
Yeah, low block there called on Skate Pilgrim. Losing lead and the opportunity for points here because Automatic, there's 5 more.
Only having to get past 2 blockers there, but managing to get a track cut.
Oh, it's a good job from the Brawlers, forcing the track on Automatic here. Skate Pilgrim will come back on with a minute. No lead jammer and a chance here because he did complete his initial. So this is the scoring pass from that before he went to the box.
And it looked like Skate Pilgrim had completed his time in the penalty box before Automatic actually sits down in the penalty box, having taken a bit of a shortcut made to go all the way around. Skate Pilgrim recycled back to the Skate HQ jammer line.
No pass, no penalty called for Skate Pilgrim there. Only picking up 3 despite Automatic being in the box.
Automatic back out and scoring points. Shock Exchanger in the black. Bass Strait Brawlers in the green.
Skate Pilgrim having all sorts of trouble at the back of that pack. New York Shock Exchange. Just beasts on the defensive end here. 152 plays 26. Brawlers picking up 11 in that jam.
The Brawlers will also manage to pretty swift blocking on automatic there, holding them back from scoring another 4. That jam was actually fairly even. Shock Exchange scored 13 points to Bass Strait Brawlers 11. The timeout is being called. Officials are conferring.
So official timeout is in play. Big shout out to Sydney Derby Skates with their mega skate sale going on right now. If you're watching live, head on over to sydneyderbyskates.com and pick up something from their mega skate sale. If you're watching on the archives, do it anyway. There's probably still something cheap from Sydney Derby Skates.
So when you say cheap, do you mean on price or quality?
Absolutely the price. Nothing poor quality from Sydney Derby Skates. Big shout out to Scars and Stripes book, a book about the culture of modern roller derby. Publishers Weekly described it as raunchy, voluptuous, slightly scary, but warmly passionate. A must-have for the sports participants and fans. That's me. Not a participant, definitely a fan.
Definitely a fan, Big Karina.
Jam gets going with a lead jammer status going New York's way. Once again, Jimmy Rage.
Dirty 5 busting through his initial pass though.
Jimmy Rage into the outside, calling it off from the ground. So limiting one point there.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, 3 points, sorry.
Sarge showing his flexibility as both a jammer and a blocker there, dealing a very big hit off to Jimmy Rage, forcing that jam to come to an end. Six minutes left in this first half.
Bisexual jamming once again for the Shock Exchange. Grease Monkey on the Skater HQ jammer line for the Brawlers.
Bisexual dancing around behind Grease Monkey. Both jammers out roughly at the same time. However, Bisexual left behind. Grease Monkey, not the lead jammer.
Bisexual showing exactly why Shock Exchange are so good. Great track awareness there, getting recycled or sucked back into the pack, but knowing he had lead jammer status, calling it off. So neither jammer troubling the scorekeeper in that one. Dangerfield on the line for the Shock Exchange. Dirty 5 jamming for the Brawlers.
Dirty 5 tickling his toes on the outside. He gets through his lead jammer. Great work there by Dirty 5.
Sammy Dangerfield is out now. Dirty 5 with about half a lap on him.
Big hit there by Sarge. Bass Strait Brawlers out in front, 4 points, calls that jam off.
Great jam from the Brawlers. First one we've seen in quite some time, maybe since the first jam of the game, where the Brawlers are in charge, pick up the 4, call it off. Clean jam from the Brawlers. Power jams have definitely been killing them in this first half. Skate Pilgrim looking to continue the work of Dirty 5 in this one, up against Automatic for the Shock Exchange.
Automatic likes to start off quite low, peeling his way through the track, and he is lead jammer.
Automatic goes down at the front, but keeps on skating. So quick to get on his feet. Skate Pilgrim trying to stay in and avoid that track cut, and hangs his head as he realizes what he'd done. He's going to the box. Power jam again to the Shock Exchange.
Skate Pilgrim and Grease Monkey doing a tremendous job holding Automatic back. Skate Pilgrim keeps bumping him out of bounds, having to recycle to the back of the pack. Abe Drinkin giving some assistance there.
So we've seen early in this game here, Brawlers very heavily reliant on their two primary jammers, Sausage Roll, Skate Pilgrim, and both in heavy penalty trouble in this first half. They've got at least 3 apiece, I'd say, if not more. It will be interesting come the tail end of this game in the second half when they don't have their primary jammers out on the track if they keep their ways up.
Automatic making his way past Nahiko. Through for another 5-point pass. Skate Pilgrim has completed his initial pass.
Automatic calling that one off, bringing it to a close before Skate Pilgrim can pick up any points. This is the first of a pair of games the Shock Exchange are playing this weekend tonight against the Bass Street Brawlers. Tomorrow they're of course running the boot camp here at Menai, and then in the evening taking on Sydney City Smash. I hope all the Smash boys are watching, taking notes and seeing what they can do against this formidable wall that is the Shock Exchange, preventing the Brawlers from breaking through. Probably, I'd say 8 times out of 10 here, but Jam's going the Shock Exchange way.
And Jimmy Rage giving Dirty Five a bit of a hand, getting dressed, ready for the jam on the Skater HQ jam line.
Huge Stackman and Thor at the back, keeping Jimmy Rage at bay, and Skate Pilgrim. Dirty Five, sorry, jamming for the Brawlers. He saw daylight, but Shock Exchange closing quickly.
That's it, T-Stop Tornado. Too good, driving him out of bounds.
Brawlers forcing a track cutter, Jimmy Ray. So a power jam here for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
2 blockers in the penalty box for the Brawlers, though, giving them the disadvantage in the pack size. That will certainly make a difference when they're trying to help their jammer through.
Yeah, full pack on the track for the Shock Exchange. 35 trying hard. You can see how hard they're making it work, but not finding any luck just yet. Power jam virtually killed here, and it looks like they've taken his soul or his will to live or something, because 35 just hanging his head out there.
Are you suggesting that the New York Shock Exchange are winning by dirty magics?
They're doing something right, because Dirty Five had a power jam for the Brawlers and they have nullified it altogether. Jimmy Rage is back on the track now. No advantage to the Brawlers whatsoever.
Jimmy Rage not quite managing to stay in bounds there. Called for a track cut, sent to the penalty box, giving the Brawlers another power jam opportunity.
So that is lead jammer now.
Unfortunately, only 3 more seconds left on the jam clock.
So it took a full minute 55 for lead jammer to be established, showing exactly why the Shock Exchange are one of the best teams on the planet in men's derby. That brings us into half-time. 161 New York Shock Exchange, 36 to the Brawlers. Stay tuned, 15 minutes till we have another half of derby action here from Menai.
Just a minute to go for half time. New York Shock Exchange, 161 playing the Bass Strait Brawlers, 36. Scoreboard probably doesn't show what a great job the Brawlers are doing. New York Shock Exchange, of course, the best in men's roller derby. Bass Strait Brawlers haven't been doing it for that long. Big Kahuna, how long have the Bass Strait Brawlers been playing for?
Not all that long, actually. In fact, men's derby in Australia is in its infancy still, or maybe more of its toddler stages at this point. Of course, the Bass Strait Brawlers making not their debut necessarily, but definitely their first splash at the men's nationals in November 2014, coming in second place in all of Australia. So you can see the difference here, second place in Australia versus Shock Exchange, and there is 130 or 125 points separating them on the board.
Yes, indeed. And the Shock Exchange are running a boot camp here tomorrow and the next day, but there is going to be another bout on tomorrow night.
Sydney City Smash, your locals, your hosts, taking on the New York Shock Exchange. Second half about to get underway. We've got 30 minutes on the clock. New York Shock Exchange jammer is in the penalty box. Jimmy Rage from the end of that first half.
Rumour has it he was sent to the penalty box actually for having bad hair. I'm not sure how the referees can tell under that helmet, but if you look in the program photo, or if you're at home, if you look it up on the internet on the Shock Exchange website, perhaps you would agree.
Lies, all lies. His hair is beautiful and stunning.
I would like to say a hello to Rinkworm. Unfortunately, a little bit injured, unable to play today, but Rinkworm is still here to support the boys from New York.
Yeah, they flew a long way to be here, the Shock Exchange, of course, from that concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Isn't that Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's it. New York, the city of angels, the windy city.
Isn't it the capital city?
Yeah, Windy Apple.
That's it, New York. Capital city, the Windy Apple. That is where the Shock Exchange are from. They are playing in the black shirts against the Bass Strait Brawlers, who aren't actually from Bass Strait, but actually from Tasmania that hangs below Bass Strait, and they are playing in the green.
Yeah, not a lot of derby players on the actual Bass Strait.
No, not at all. However, Bass Strait making a mistake. Jammer doing a track cut off to the penalty box for 30 seconds.
That's Hangman. He's in the penalty box. So a power jam here for the Shock Exchange and lead jammer very quickly to Jimmy Rage out of the box. So power jam to the Bass Strait Brawlers is nullified and lead goes to New York.
Brawlers putting up a fair bit of resistance there. Jimmy Rage having to struggle his way through. He's knocked out of bounds.
Skate Pilgrim doing a good job of hitting him out to the side there and forcing him to come the long way around. Again, Jimmy Rage hits to the ground, but feet stay in bounds. Oh no, track cut called. So forcing the track cut on Jimmy Rage. Thought he kept his skates in bounds.
Jimmy Rage will have to serve the full 30 seconds because he is in the penalty box after the Brawlers jammer left.
So Hangman is back on the track for the Brawlers now. He's still looking to complete his initial big hit, just ragdolls him to the ground.
Yes, indeed, legs everywhere, but he was on the ground, avoiding the track cut. Malcolm Sex celebrating his trip. He's off to the penalty box for a track cut. Jimmy Rage recycled to the back of the pack there, while Brawlers jammer Hangman is back on the track.
Jimmy Rage is back on the track also. Of course, no lead jammer. That jam comes to its natural conclusion of 2 minutes. So coming out of oranges, neither team able to get on the board there.
5 points pays 4 from that jam.
For those watching from overseas, maybe from New York, if you've got an Empire State of Mind, when I say oranges, it is tradition in sports in Australia at halftime to get your energy back up. You eat oranges.
Sammy Dangerfield on the Skater HQ jammer line. Streaking through for lead jammer. It's those flashy pants that seems to confuse the Bass Strait Brawlers.
It throws off their equilibrium or something. It's the plaid that just sort of throws off your vision a little bit.
It's not just plaid, it's plaid with fluoro. Huge Stackman looked to me to have executed a block after the whistle was blown.
He definitely, and I think he was questioning, like he sort of looked at the referees like, I didn't do it, I didn't.
It wasn't me, it was Bart Simpson.
He went over to Sammy Dangerfield as they were going to the bench and sort of pat him on the shoulder and apologised, I think. So it's all good.
It's all good. There are lots of man cuddles happening between these two sweaty teams.
Skate Pilgrim stepping up to the jammer line, the Skater HQ jammer line once again for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Using his shoulders to try and get through. No avail. He's knocked back and recycled back to the Skater HQ line.
So Skate Pilgrim quickly out with lead jammer status. He's now on his scoring pass before New York Shock Exchange even out of that pack.
He has to go back behind the New York blockers though.
So Automatic now completing his initial pass. Skate Pilgrim into the midst of his scoring. Automatic right on him though. He's going to close that gap quickly and force the call off. 5 points scored by Skate Pilgrim, 0 by Automatic. So a strong start to the second half here for the Brawlers.
A great way to pick up morale, of course, with Dirty 5 returning to the Skater HQ jammer line for the Brawlers. Kai Sexual joining him. Kai Sexual is from the New York Shock Exchange in the black.
Now, if you are watching this feed live and you are in the Sydney region, that's just silly because you should be here in person and watch it from the suicide line. Make sure you head down tomorrow. Sydney City Smash taking on the New York Shock Exchange.
Yes, indeed. Come and enjoy the fumes that is New Varnish and some sweaty man sweat.
You can go to Sydney City Smash Facebook page, find all the links, whatever you need to go from there. Pick up your ticket and head on out to Menai to watch some awesome roller derby.
You can pick up some merch while you're here, and you two can look as handsome as Big Kahuna and I.
Jimmy Rage looking very handsome with lead jammer status awarded.
I reckon Jimmy Rage looks handsome without it.
I'm going to take your word on that one, Mel. Dirty Fives recycled to the back. No luck getting out of that pack. All Shock Exchange in that one as they enter back. 174-46, New York Shock Exchange extending their lead. Sorry, 179-46. I'm faster than the scorekeepers.
Yes, indeed, and officials will have to have a timeout while they fix the track. All sorts of string hanging out there. We would like to thank our major sponsor, Skater HQ. They offer custom fitting services. They have stores in Brookvale, Manly and Moore Park, and they also have an online store. That's at skaterhq.com.au. Meantime, New York keeping warm in an already tropical environment. Jimmy Rage busting out some jam moves. He doesn't seem to be self-conscious at all, Big Kahuna.
Why would he when he's got moves like that?
That's a very good point. No music playing, only the music in Jimmy Rage's head. That seems to be enough. Grease Monkey wants to learn those moves, though. He says, "Sing it to me, Jimmy."
Is that what he said?
He did. And Jimmy said, "You so what?" All right, both jammers on the Skater HQ jammer line. The track is fixed up as much as it can be.
Of course, that traditional woofed a pink.
It's quite a striking pink, isn't it?
It is. It stands out quite well against this brand new varnish here at Menai.
I like the way it brings out the colour in the fella's eyes.
As do I, Mel. As do I.
Jimmy Rage knocked to the back of the pack. In the meantime, Grease Monkey sent to the penalty box. Another power jam for the Shock Exchange.
So in the penalty box, 2 blockers standing now, about to rejoin their teams. Only 3 on the pack aside.
Thor and Huge Stackman doing a terrific job holding Jimmy Rage back, but that is like holding C back with the sieve. Jimmy Rage, a hop and a skip on the inside apex jump. He is through for 5 more points.
Any men's game you watch, Mel, you're always going to see at least 1,000 apex attempts.
I've been counting. I think we're up to 963 already.
That one successful from Jimmy Rage, and another successful 5-point pass here for the New York Shock Exchange jammer.
Grease Monkey is back out of onto the track. He's at the back of the pack though. Some hard blocks going on up the front there. However, Captain Abe's drinking, offering his hand of peace.
Grease Monkey having a hell of a time here in this jam. And most of the game, New York Shock Exchange really having an answer for his attack.
Yes, indeed. However, the Bass Strait Brawlers executing a star pass there. Short apex jump on the inside.
So Skate Pilgrim pulling on the star now. He's out of the pack. Lead jammer is with the Shock Exchange. Jimmy Rage sees Skate. Oh, he's about to call it off. Sees Skate Pilgrim go to the outside. Doesn't call it off, and 4 points go to Skate Pilgrim and the Bass Strait Brawlers with a huge apex jump.
It's a bit spectacular, dodging the Shock Exchange jammer, Jimmy Rage, as well. Terrific effort for 4 points for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Brings up the 50-point mark for the Brawlers. New York Shock Exchange passing 200 in that one. Shock Exchange tipping their bat to the audience.
A fair display of mad skills from both sides being executed.
So Sammy Dangerfield and those pants back on the line. Are they even pants? They're tights.
They're pretty grippy pants if they are pants.
Whatever they are, he's got lead jammer.
I'm going to have to touch them.
That material has to be felt, right?
Are they full length? Are they 3/4? That man is an enigma.
Fashion trends here at the roller derby.
Yes, indeed. Bass Strait Brawlers wanting to know what his pants are made out of as well. Dirty 5 is not sure. It makes him cross though. That jam called off. Only 1 point added to the score.
Sammy Dangerfield giving a big thumbs up to the camera and the people back home in New York. Happy with his 1 point in that jam.
I think he's happy with the secret of his pants.
The secret of his pants. Sammy Dangerfield and the secret of his pants.
Automatic trying to check out Son of Skating's pants.
And giving just enough time for Grease Monkey to get out for the lead jammer.
Thor sent to the penalty box for that last block. New York will be happy with that pack advantage. However, Automatic caught behind the blockers.
Yeah, anytime you take Thor out of the pack for the Brawlers, leaves a big hole.
Well, you're kind of
in
halving
that
it,
wall.
aren't you?
Absolutely. Makes it a 5-man pack when he's out there. Son of Skating doing a hell of a job in Automatic, delaying his progress, but only for so long. 20-foot rule applies, forced to let him go.
Automatic trying to sneak his way through for another pass. 5 points from that jam to the Bass Strait Brawlers.
So he did pick up the 5 quite a while ago, long before Automatic got out, but just could not get through for another one. Shock Exchange tightening the defense there.
Captain on the jammer line, Captain Smirk. He's jamming for the Bass Strait Brawlers. He's recycled to the back of the pack. Malcolm Sex forcing him to go all the way back to the pivot line.
So Captain Smirk still held up in this whirling defense of the Shock Exchange. But the Brawlers holding their own now against the Shock Exchange jammer. Kai Sexual finally out. He's lead jammer for the Shock Exchange. Brawlers pushing, not find any luck right now.
Sausage Roll, very persistent there, hoping to give Kai Sexual a hard time. However, he gets out of the 20-foot.
Captain Smirk still on his initial pass. Shock Exchange seeming to have all the answers for him right now. Big hit on the inside. Captain Smirk playing fifth blocker, or fourth blocker rather, of course. A brawler in the penalty box right now.
Yes, indeed. Between Captain Smirk and Thor, they try to hold back Kai Sexual. Sarge executing a large shoulder charge.
Well, Thor giving a huge back block to his own team and a big assist to get Captain Smirk out of the pack. No points scored by the Brawlers in that one.
Shock Exchange send out Jimmy Rage.
Skate Pilgrim on the Skater HQ jammer line for the Brawlers.
Jimmy Rage, of course, the man on the jammer line with the sensible pants for the Shock Exchange.
So rare. Sensible pants or athletic shorts, not the fashion in New York apparently.
I think it says it all, but their logo skates with a tie on.
Skate Pilgrim has lead jammer status for the Brawlers.
Jimmy Rage stopping himself from going out of bounds on his toe stops there, and he's out and about. Trying to score some points. Jam is called off. Jimmy Rage not happy.
Skate Pilgrim calling it off, but giving two to the Shock Exchange there. He was watching it the whole way. I think maybe trying to tell the Brawlers to come forward so they can milk some time off the clock and get their blocker out. Of the penalty box, that is, sorry. Standing now, 10 seconds left. Shock Exchange have one in the box. Dirty 5 with the star for the Brawlers, Sammy Dangerfield.
Nahiko waiting to join the pack there for the Bass Strait Brawlers. As he does so, he runs right into the back of Malcolm 6.
Sammy Dangerfield stops at the front. Some jammer on jammer action. And Dirty 5 just rolls on through the very fashionable Sammy Dangerfield. Gives him some time, showing the ref, I'm about to call it. Watch me. There it is. Hands on hips. Hands on some very fashionable tights. Sammy Dangerfield calls it off, teasingly. Letting Dirty 5 think he might grab some points, but keeping him at bay. 2:18 plays 62. New York Shock Exchange in control of this game.
Yes, indeed. New York Shock Exchange. Teasing is how they roll.
Automatic now. Jamming for the Shock Exchange. Grease Monkey.
Grease Monkey having to get down low to execute that block on Automatic, and Grease Monkey playing some anti-derby there, going in a clockwise direction. He joins his pack, does a star pass. Sneaky little monkey that he is.
Executed perfectly. We've seen that so many times. Star pass to Skate Pilgrim, of course, giving up any chance of lead jammer status. But Skate Pilgrim is back on the initial, of course, Automatic -1 lap. That's the way it works when you go in the anti-derby direction.
And Sausage Roll sent off to the penalty box for an illegal block.
Now Automatic is out and now approaching only for his initial pass. So if he gets through here, he does have lead jam status available to him. Brawlers did not by making the star pass early. Skate Pilgrim now out of the pack. He's on his scoring. Automatic still held up in this pack. I don't know if he got hips past yet. And there it is, lead jammer status to the Shock Exchange and calling it off. Wow, some very, very interesting tactics played by both teams there. Brawlers executing a perfect soul crush and star pass to bring Automatic to the back of the pack. Not able to get through on the initial though, and Automatic making up for it Just pulling that jam out of the fire and calling it off with 0 points apiece. Just a high standard of roller derby, Mel.
There is indeed. We've got a double Saxon Rex happening for the New York Stock Exchange. Kai Sexual, Glitosaurus Rex, and Malcolm Sex all on the track at the same time. That may be distracting for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
There's way too much sex out there. So many
Sex
names
and
of sex.
Rex. It's about all the X's, and no one likes to be around all the X's.
Everyone hates their ex.
Bass Strait Brawlers lead jammer status.
So 35 now with a lead jammer. Chance here to put some points on the board for the Brawlers. His pack doing a good job of keeping New York Stock Exchange jammer at bay. Still on the initial. One-on-one defense from New York. Doing a hell of a job.
I think that might be Captain... no, it's not. It's actually Malcolm Sex. One of the X's that we previously talked about. A 5-point pass given there to Dirty Five.
So natural grand slam there. Brawlers defensive walls doing all the work for Dirty Five right now. Dirty Five definitely working hard to get through.
Malcolm Sex taking the star.
Star pass to Malcolm Sex.
Dirty Five gasping for air, getting nothing but vapor from the varnish.
Another 5-point pass for Dirty Five.
Malcolm Sex adding 4 points to the Shock Exchange score.
A 0. Did he get 4 in that one?
He got 4 and then he got 0.
4-14. Big jam there for the Brawlers.
$12 points left in this game.
Minutes as well.
You're probably wondering how I could predict that.
12 minutes left. 2:22 plays 76.
It's the fumes, Kahuna. They're getting to my brain.
It is. The varnish is thick on the floor and stings the nostrils.
Kind of hangs in here. It's a little bit Singapore in this room right now.
So a great opportunity as a timeout has been called by the Bass Strait, the New York Stock Exchange, sorry. Interesting point, actually. Last weekend they did play the Capital Carnage. New York Stock Exchange did not use a single timeout the entire game. So the fact that the Brawlers have forced them to call a timeout in this second half speaks volumes of how the Brawlers are playing right now. Big shout out to Derby Obsessed 284, providing t-shirts and sleeveless hoodies as prizes for our MVPs this evening. Their online store is derbyobsessed284.com. Other supporters of the weekend: Gorman Providor, Black Milk Clothing, Roller Derby Heaven, Extreme Skates Roller Derby, and Queens of the Sin Bin, New York Stock Exchange sponsor.
Yes, indeed. And of course, the sleeveless hoodies are the best thing for people with enormous guns like me.
Or elbow pads, as most Derby people.
Still good for my guns.
Melodrama. When the sun's out, guns are out.
Skate Pilgrim on the Skater HQ jammer line for the Bass Strait Brawlers. He is in the green. He is giving a little love tap to Jimmy Rage. Jimmy Rage caught behind a sea of large men
And
from Bass Strait.
Skate Pilgrim able to take advantage. He's lead jammer for the Brawlers, so a couple of jams in a row here going the Brawlers' way.
Jimmy Rage managing to sidestep Nihiko. He's completed his initial pass. However, denied any opportunity to score any points. Great work there by Skate Pilgrim, adding 4 more points to the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Skate Pilgrim ever so casually putting his hands on his hips there, not phased whatsoever.
Big shout out of thank you to the non-skating officials who are here taking down all the notes, writing down all the penalties, timing, doing all those sorts of things, operating the camera, and of course being the technicians here bringing you all this vision. And no vision so pretty as Sammy Dangerfield's pants as they streak around with him in it as lead jammer.
35 going straight with him. Trying to, taking over now. 35 in front, lead jammer with Sammy Dangerfield. Bit of jammer and jammer at the back.
Sammy Dangerfield not too worried about the score, the time clock.
No, he knows. He's happy to keep it going. 35, however, not showing the urgency. Happy to skate with Sammy Dangerfield.
Sammy Dangerfield putting 100% effort there into the way that he calls the jam off. And as commentators, Big Kahuna, that is what we love.
Absolutely. Big hand signals so we can see it from afar. So if you like what you're seeing here and watching some of the best men's players on the planet playing here, it is a rare opportunity that you see this type of play in Sydney. You're going to see it tomorrow, Sydney City Smash taking on the Shock Exchange. Head on down to Menai Indoor Sports Centre, go to Sydney City Smash Facebook page and follow the links to get your tickets.
Automatic recycle right back to the middle of the pack.
Grease Monkey going down at the back, thinking maybe he got a penalty, wasn't called, keeps on skating. So strong defense from both teams. Brawlers really pulling together in the last couple. Automatic is out just as soon as I say it, just to, make me look bad. But Brawlers really doing a hell of a job of delaying their progress.
Automatic having to sneak through the Giants that are Thor and Nahiko. Large, hairy men playing for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Skate Pilgrim with stashing the star now. He picked up the... looks like there might have been an illegal procedure with the way the star was passed. Skate Pilgrim forced to drop the star on the ground. Goes to the box as a pivot. 8 minutes left. It'd be interesting to see how many penalties he's got. So the jammer star's still on the ground. I don't know if you can see it on the feed there. Just on the outside line, right where those two officials are. No jammer for the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Yes, indeed, the blockers are not allowed to touch the jammer star. Only the jammer in the pivot can touch the jammer star. That's why it is sitting there waiting for someone to come and claim it.
So Grease Monkey is out of the box now. Goes to pick up the star. He was the jammer, of course, when the penalty was called. Pulls on the star. Now attacks the line. Not making much progress as that jam comes to a close. 2 minutes have been played. 2:32 to New York Shock Exchange, 79 to the Bass Strait Brawlers.
And a big Aussie welcome to Jonathan R. watching at home. He's one of the players for the New York Shock Exchange. Couldn't quite make it here today.
Jonathan R., a lot of men's derby around the world, owes a lot to that man. One of the pioneers of men's derby, pushing the Shock Exchange to new heights.
Huge Stackman from the Bass Strait Brawlers fouled out of the game. 7 penalties.
So that's our first foul out. Huge Stackman. With the way the penalties were flowing hot and heavy in the first, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more. Still 7 minutes left in this one.
Big Kahuna, did you rehearse that saying? Penalties flowing hot and heavy for the men's roller derby?
Straight off the dome.
There's official timeout being called.
That's why I get paid the big bucks, Mel.
That's obviously why you get paid the big bucks. 7 and a bit minutes left in this game. Glitosaurus Rex using his fancy hip work to try to hold back.
Kai Sexual is jamming for the Shock Exchange. Sorry, Mel, and that's 35. with the star, as he said, for the Brawlers. .35 recycled to the back. Cut Sexual completing his first pass. Nice and quick. In the midst of his scoring now. Runs into Son of Skaten's shoulder. And you can see, as I said, the Brawlers really pulling together in the last few jams and working out what they can do to keep Shock Exchange at bay. And drawing the cut there. Son of Skaten, hell of a job on Kai Sexual. So power jam now to the Bass Strait Brawlers. No lead jammer available. We'll go the full 2 minutes. And .35 completing his initial.
Shock Exchange blockers trying to hold back as long as they can to allow their jammer back on the track.
Malcolm Sex, some amazing one-on-one defense there. That's a man who knows how to use his ass.
I was thinking that before. 35, mincing his way through, getting chased down by Glitosaurus Rex. Glitosaurus having to let him go out of 20 feet.
So 5-point pass there for .35. Bisexual and Son of Skaten going at it again. Son of Skaten getting the best of that one. .35 hits the outside for the Brawlers. He's recycled to the back. Kyle Sexual still on his initial though, I think. I know, picking up points there, so that was a scoring pass. In fact, grabbing 9 total for that jam. I don't know why I got 0. But 9-5 to the Shock Exchange in that one.
Well, the 9 is just a 0 with a little beard.
It's good when you pay attention, you know what's going on. Speaking of 0, number 0, Skate Pilgrim stepping up to the Skater HQ jammer line for the Brawlers. Jimmy Rage with the star for the Shock Exchange.
And those hard blocks that we saw before from the Bass Strait Brawlers paying the price. 2 of their players now fouled out of the game.
So Skate Pilgrim is out and lead jammer for the Bass Strait Brawlers. Jimmy Ray still held up in this pack. All the defense right now from Tasmania. Skate Pilgrim, another 5-point pass.
T-stop tornado, getting some air there.
Just getting lifted by Skate Pilgrim. He knows where a legal blocking zone is, and it's basically all of the front of you. So a strong jam there from the Brawlers, and that brings them up to 97 plays 244.
Yes, indeed, 13 unanswered points for the Brawlers. This is a fantastic job from Tasmania.
$147 points. As I said last week, New York Shock Exchange put up over 500 on Capital Carnage from Canberra, and that was no easy game for them. To see this score difference on the board here when we're talking about one of the most established, most dominant teams in men's roller derby history, New York Shock Exchange, doing a hell of a job, but still, what a game from the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Yes, indeed. Sammy Dangerfield hits the back of the pack for his scoring pass. 5 points for that pass. In the meantime, back in the pack, Abe Drinkin forcing Skate Pilgrim back. And of course, when I said Skate Pilgrim, it was actually .35.
So .35 does have the star for the Bass Strait Brawlers. Empty penalty box, both teams. And right as I said, Bass Strait Brawler blocker on his way to the box.
Yes, indeed. Sammy Dangerfield taking a big block there on the lap of 4 from Thor, but finding his feet very, very quickly. One of the things about the New York Stock Exchange is you can knock them down, but they get up very, very quickly. They're a little bit like the Terminator. It's quite off-putting.
So 20 points already in this one to Sammy Dangerfield. So huge jam, not even a power jam. 35 staying on the track. Oh, star pass has happened though. Hangman with the star, pulling it on at the back. Still on the initial for the Bass Strait Brawlers. Push the inside. 25 in this jam already for Sammy Dangerfield. No power jam.
Sammy Dangerfield pumping the hips there, calling that jam off. Massive effort on his behalf. 27 huge points.
27-point jam with the other jam on the track.
And this will in all likelihood be the last jam for the game. Big hugs are all around. Skate Pilgrim on the Skater HQ jammer line up against Automatic.
Let's see if the Brawlers can break the ton here. 3 points away from 100. Skate Pilgrim with the star.
Automatic starting every jam today from a squatting start, showing off his massive quads, I do believe.
Automatic out. He's got lead jammer status. Skate Pilgrim chasing him down. A couple of strides between them, and Skate Pilgrim looking to take over. Skate Pilgrim gets out in front. Pack speeds up. Broken up play. Automatic letting him go for as long as he can. Calls it off. Skate Pilgrim, he may have got a couple against the lead, just sneaking a few in there. He got 3, in fact, bringing up the 100-point mark for the Bass Strait Brawlers. You can hear the crowd enjoying that one. 100 points, the most that's been scored against them by the men's team here in Australia on their tour down under.
And up on the Skater HQ line, Dirty 5, skating for the Bass Strait Brawlers. They've done a terrific job here this evening, coming out as lead jammer.
35 out in front, couple of strides ahead of Kai Sexual. Fast moving pack. Dirty 5 out in front, hasn't called it, keeping it going. Oh, Dirty 5 on his way to the box for a multiplayer block. Doesn't happen to jam as often, but throws away the lead jammer. Kai Sexual now jamming in a power jam, and no lead jammer. This jam will go the full 2 minutes. Of course, the game clock has expired, so we are working solely off this jam clock with a minute to go. Thor out the front, being that one-man wall. Out of play called on Thor. Kai Sexual keeps on rolling. 5 more points to the Shock Exchange. 35 back on the track, skating with Kai Sexual. Jukes around the side, wanting to get past his opposing jammer.
Sneaks past Captain Smirk and Hangman. Kai Sexual another 5 points. In the meantime, Glitosaurus Rex trying to hold back the jammer, no avail.
35 absolutely gassed right now. Asks for an assist from his team. Get me through, fellas, get me through. Kai Sexual not needing the same. He's got 5 on that last pass. And that brings our game to a close here. Unofficial final score. New York Shock Exchange 294. Bass Strait Brawlers in a hell of a performance here at Menai 104.
Waiting for the officials to do the final bits of adding and make sure that everything is in place. And that is the final whistle. Congratulations, of course, to the New York Shock Exchange. A very entertaining and skillful bout.
Yeah, pulling that one out, 294-104. That game, I think, will actually count towards the Bass Strait Brawlers membership requirements for the MRDA, the Men's Roller Derby Association, the International Association for Men's Roller Derby. So look for more from the Bass Strait Brawlers in the future. But that brings a close to one hell of a game, and one that I think shows the world where Australia is. The fact that the Brawlers can put on 100 points against the Shock Exchange and keep them under 300 proves how far Australian Roller Derby and Australian Men's Roller Derby has come. Keep your eyes posted for another game coming tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Sydney City Smash taking on the New York Shock Exchange.
Big Kahuna, we're going to try and grab one of the Shock Exchange boys for a quick interview.
Oh, do you want me to do that, Mel? Or you cool? You happy to? I'm sure you're happy to do that.
I just want to get near the boy sweat.
Melodrama, happy to do all the interviews here with the boys from the Shock Exchange.
Don't block my commentary, Kahuna.
And the Bass Strait Brawlers.
I'll just go and get me a man. Just one moment.
She has never said that before in her life. So Melodrama about to grab a couple of skaters for some post-match interviews, keeping it all professional, sports, analytical, all that sort of thing. But make sure you do come back to this very YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. 2 games, a cherry-popping bout, which should be all sorts of fun for a lot of skaters in their first bout ever after doing the boot camp all day with the Shock Exchange. And then, of course, your main event for the weekend, Sydney City Smash, the Super Smash Brothers taking on this Shock Exchange from New York. You can see in the far shot here of your YouTube screen, there is a photo being taken. Brawlers, Shock Exchange, getting nice and intimate. We're going to try to have that interview coming up very shortly. If you look very closely, you can actually see Melodrama waiting very patiently to grab her man or men. And here comes Melodrama.
I stop for no man. I am here with captain of the New York Shock Exchange, Abe Drinkin, also skating as Wyatt. Congratulations on an excellent game, very entertaining.
Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun to play. These guys were really great competitors. A lot of great talent out there, great skating talent, great jammers, great blockers. Everybody out on the track knew how to be out there. So it was great.
And we noticed that you had to use a timeout there. What sort of things were you discussing in that timeout?
We took a timeout. I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, in the second half, right? We took a timeout. It was mostly just a finish strong kind of message. We had gotten a little spread out for a moment, and I wanted to tell the team that even though we were ahead, we wanted to play the game like it's still even, so that we could finish the way that we like to play.
Yes, indeed. Certainly some tremendous sports personship happening out there. You were very certainly dominant on the track, but there certainly were some moments where the Bass Strait Brawlers got out in front. Would you have any tips for them to come out even stronger next time they play you?
I mean, I don't know. I think when they were out there all five on the track together, they were a real tough team. And then they got into a little bit of foul trouble, and that happens to everybody. So, I guess maybe work that out and check it out. Working through that would help them. I'm not sure. I'd be happy to talk to anybody after the game after I get a chance to watch the video. But they were definitely formidable opponents. They could skate super well. And when all five of them were out there, it was a scary thing to face.
It was a beautiful thing to watch, though.
Yeah.
Not meaning
Right.
to enjoy your pain and hardship. What do you have left on your agenda here in this Shock Tour?
So we're actually teaching all day Saturday and Sunday, and we have a game against the Sydney Smash tomorrow night, and then most of us are heading back to America on Monday. But we're real excited to be sharing what we know about roller derby and the way that we play tomorrow and Sunday in camp. Here at the same venue. We did a camp in Brisbane over the weekend, and as far as I know, everybody loved, or not over the weekend, during the middle of the week, and everybody loved what we taught. So just teaching and skating the next couple of days, and that's probably going to do it for us.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you so much.
It's been our pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the New York Shock Exchange.
Thank you.
Thank you to your
Australia.
sponsors, Queens of the Sin Bin, and we hope to see you here again soon, eh?
I love this place. I hope to come back.
Great.
Thanks.
We've got another interview coming up now. Melodrama with the captain of the Bass Strait Brawlers.
Captain Smirk. Quite a cocky name there, really. It would be embarrassing if you weren't the captain, I guess.
It would be a little bit. The guys do enjoy the Captain Smirk speeches.
Indeed, Captain Squared. How do you feel your guys played today?
Look, first half, there's no hiding it. We weren't there. Our heads were a little bit shaken. The New York guys have a reputation that played on us. Come second half, once we had a chance to figure out where our heads were at and reassess the gameplay of the New York team, we brought it back together. In all honesty, I'm very, very happy with my team. Very, very happy.
Certainly, if you had the second half first, that would have gone really well for you in the second half, I feel.
Had we had a second half, I would have been very, very happy too.
But that would have been 3 halves.
That's fine. We'd do that.
That's more than a hole, and you don't want a hole when you're roller skating. You might fall in. What would you say were the standout moments in the game for your team?
For our team, there were a couple of jams, probably 10 minutes in the first half. The particularly good moments. Our walls came together really, really strong. We locked down their points. It gave us a glimmer of hope there. And then repeating that behaviour through the second half.
There were certainly some tremendous jams there where you were able to get 10 points to nil. That must have been a real high.
It was excellent. It was excellent. Most of our guys got so excited that they forgot what they were doing the next jam.
Well, you got to celebrate the wins whenever you get them. You certainly put out a tremendous effort. New York Shock Exchange was certainly the favourites with so much experience over you. But I dare say that you did an absolutely sterling job. It was wonderful to watch.
Thank you very much. It was awesome to play. Thank you for having us.
No problem. All the best for the Bass Strait Brawlers. And that is all that we have for today from the Menai Sports Centre. I have been Melodrama.
And I'm the Big Kahuna. Thank you, folks, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.